Thanks so much. You could stay on and look now at our stories. Former national chairman of the opposition New Patriotic Party, Manu, is pushing for major reforms in how the Electoral Commission chairperson and other senior officials are appointed. Addressing the Constitution Review Committee in Accra, he called for an end to presidential appointments, arguing that they will fuel mistrust in the Commission's neutrality. He proposed a transparent, merit-based process similar to Kenya's, where applicants undergo public vetting to prove their competence and independence.
I think the two-thirds majority is better than the simple majority for the Electoral Commission members' approval in Parliament. Two-thirds majority broadens the base because a simple majority is not weighty enough. So if you are able to commandeer two-thirds, then basically you have a bipartisan support. I think I'll go in for that. Nomination, we can give that to the Public Services Commission or to put up an advert or a committee with membership from Parliament, Judiciary.
You already answered that.
I already answered that. Okay.
That's
okay. Then Registrar of Political Parties. We've mentioned that EC governance, a board or one person. I think in other jurisdictions like Malawi, they have the board, then they have what we call here the director of elections as the person in charge of the election machinery. And so from time to time, he will report to the board. And the board, as constituted, will be chaired by an eminent person, but he's not going to have it alone. It will be a collective responsibility.
It was a fiery exchange on Joy News as NDC Communications Officer Sami Jemfi challenged NPP's Rev.Ntim to back his claims that 2 aircraft were linked to drug trafficking and money laundering. Ranking member of Defense and Interior Committee of Parliament, Rev.Ntim had alleged the flights have been engaged in suspicious activities after landing and staying in Ghana for 5 days and subsequently requested a probe by the committee. But speaking on his file, NDC's National Communications Officer Sami Jemfi accused Rev.Ntim of spreading falsehood and dared him to share any further intelligence it has on his claims, or he would ensure the MP is arrested and prosecuted.
What has Felix said, which you have proven to be a lie here, he's giving you the numbers of all the aircrafts, the dates they arrived. He told you that they had landing permits. He told you what they were carrying. He told you the number of days they had to stay at the Kotoka International Airport. He gave you the reason. But where did you get this guy?
Check the man.
What is the meaning of this?
Check that thing out.
I have never seen anybody be this disruptive on this file. Okay. What is the meaning of this? Look, so he has given you all the details and he has demonstrated to you that these aircrafts were here for legitimate reasons. They went through thorough security inspection by aviation security, by national security, by the national, by the narcotics, NACOC. All these state security institutions inspected these aircrafts and nothing untoward has been done. He has told you where they went from here. He has given you the numbers. You can track the aircrafts. What again do you want to hear before you know that this man is lying? Because he has not given you any evidence at all. And he says that state security agencies should investigate suspicions. And Kofi Bentel is supporting him. Hey. His suspicions that he's not able to substantiate. This can only happen in Ghana. In other jurisdictions, this guy would have been blacklisted. Look, when we were in opposition and we were criticizing the dense NPP governments, we always adduced evidence to substantiate our allegations. And that is why we were never direct. Look, the only time I was arrested on the allegation that I had published false information, the matter didn't travel beyond 2 hours. I was picked from the premises of UTV on grounds that I had published false information. I went to the CID, they asked me, I provided the evidence. Matter ended. You are here. You've made spurious claims You are talking about intelligence in your possession. To the effect that certain aircrafts were smuggling illicit. Allow the security. You don't have any evidence. It is here, and you are entertaining. You have no conscience. You have no shame. You are an embarrassment to your party. You are an embarrassment to your constituency. And it is only in the country right now that you will be entertained. And I want to say this. If this guy does not honor the invitation of national security to do that,
Call them to come and arrest me right there.
I'm coming. I'm saying that if he doesn't honor the invitation,
I dare you to call them to come and arrest me right here on the show.
He can hide behind his parliamentary privileges. He like bad because he will be arrested.
Drug dealers.
Some of us will arrest MPs, and you must substantiate that.
When drug dealers and arrest protocol you follow. That protocol.
Well, the Member of Parliament for Ascent South, who refused to share his evidence when pressed by host Samson Ladianyenini, rather questioned why Felix Kwakye Fosu is the one responding to the suspicions raised and not the national security, arguing government is hiding something.
Of suspicion for relevant authorities to investigate and put out credible information. And that query is evaded by politicians who can't champion the PR of it and prevent the security agencies from undertaking their investigations and credible communication, and demand that the ranking member must bring pictures and samples of the cash and cocaine suspected to be in the flight. Then what was the basis for we calling for inquiry and investigations into it? If I don't have a picture and a sample of the cocaine, then I have no gravitas to ask for investigation. Is that a kind of logic? Please, in this matter,
so you are saying
if the government of Ghana is not serious about it,
anybody can get up any day in this country and raise an alarm, and the government should go investigating. And when it investigates and it brings you what it says, this is what the truth is supposed to be.
One investigation
they should be entitled.
No, please, let me tell you.
Hold on.
No investigation has been done.
They should be entitled to say what the government is showing is false, is fake, and we shouldn't believe that.
Samson, what he put out there cannot be taken seriously, because yesterday I debated Kwakye Fosu.
The point is here.
Please.
Reverend,
and he said no investigation has been done.
You're not answering my question.
You said
not answering my question.
An investigation has been done, for which he has put this information. And I'm telling you, he himself said no investigation has been done yet.
You say that you have a suspicion.
Yeah.
Have you moved beyond the suspicion?
We have put out the suspicion we had.
So have you moved beyond suspicion?
To where?
Because you have been shown evidence of the content of the cargo.
And that is not credible. That content
so
is
it
credible.
means you are not dealing with suspicion, right?
No, that content is not credible. And Samson,
it is not credible because you are not dealing with suspicion. Is that correct?
If you will indulge, the moment we put this information out there, the president responded and called for investigation into the matter, and even called for collaboration. I further wrote for that directive that the president had given to be undertaken. I wrote on 2nd April for it. NDC Parliamentary Caucus wrote a letter to guard that process.
Well, Senior Vice President of Imani Africa, Kofi Bentil, asked for a bipartisan approach dealing with the controversy.
The counter position is the official position. Mm-hmm. At this point, he cannot say he's denied it, except he has other information. But the position of putting out information which he suspects and which he has credible information, I'm saying that, look, my brother here, the president sitting in his office may not know everything going on everywhere. But you have a situation where when some of these things happen, people see it as an attack on them. That's why I'm saying the nationalistic view will be, look, let us find out what the truth of this matter is. Because we have this history, like Prof. Eni was telling you, where this country has been slipping and we are making some kind of, recovery. Let's not go back. It may be one or two persons trying to do something wrong. So where there is credible information and it can be proven not to be credible, we leave it. I take the information that the state has given me. But I worry because, you see, in a sense, it's the system that is being accused. What will it hurt? That's why I started by saying if we didn't have a polarized partisan atmosphere, to include the minority side of parliament and let the security services go into it. Aircraft movement information is historical and is very meticulous. Let's just lay it out to his, satisfaction, other people's satisfaction, and put out the information not in a one-sided way.
Yeah, you have said this. You have said this already.
Away from that, as technology reshapes the world, innovation in fields like electrical engineering continues to drive progress. In Ghana, the Anointed Technical Training Institute is playing a key role, training young people across various engineering disciplines to meet the demands of a changing world. Maxwell Akrobotu has more.
To meet the growing demand for advanced technology and innovation in Ghana, Anointed Technical Training Institute, one of the country's leading private technical institutions, is empowering young people from both technical and non-technical backgrounds with cutting-edge engineering skills. At this year's graduation ceremony, 123 students successfully completed their training. Speaking to Joy News, Managing Director of Anointed Engineering Services Samuel Ajay Boateng emphasized the graduates' readiness to meet the dynamic demands of the job market.
These people can solve all problems. They are not here to look for solutions. They are going to create opportunities. We train them to create opportunities. Our students really don't look for jobs.
He noted the institute's focus on emerging areas like electric vehicles and called on government to support private technical institutions through funding and partnerships.
We are training students now for electric vehicles and also train technicians, engineers on all areas of electric vehicles. We are in partnership to solve problems. So the government should look at helping the government. There are a lot of youth out there who cannot pay to be trained.
Guest speaker Dr. Stephen Bunny, head of Electrical and Electronics Department at Accra Technical University, lauded the graduates and urged government to offer better incentives to engineers to inspire more youth into the technical space.
As a nation also, we have to look at how we can structure, the remuneration, like the pay structure. In some countries, somebody can be a technical person but earn more than somebody who is a PhD holder, so that the youth will not drift from the technical side onto getting certificates without hands-on.
The best female graduate and the only woman among the 123 students, Agnes Esiam, spoke about how the school equipped her for the professional world. She encouraged other young women to pursue careers in engineering and defy gender stereotypes.
When I came, I didn't know anything about electricals. I'm among men, let me put it this way. And then where I find myself, now I'm okay because I'm used to it.
Reporting for Joy News, Maxwell Akrobotu.
Even though civil society organizations play a very important role in holding government accountable, policy advocacy and influencing public policies, CSOs face many political and regulatory challenges that limit their effectiveness and sustainability. The West African Civil Society Institute is stressing the urgent need for enhanced collaboration and funding mechanisms to empower CSOs. Mamavi Sefako Te has more in this report.
The activities of civil society organizations, citizens, and journalists are increasingly under threat due to restrictions imposed by political actors and other influential figures. At the launch of the 20th anniversary of the West African Civil Society Institute, head of policy influencing and advocacy, Omolara Balogun, highlighted government restrictions, autocratic practices by supposed democratic governments, and bureaucratic hurdles as some of the challenges affecting the operations of CSOs.
We are seeing a lot of autocratic practices from supposed democratic government. We are seeing media repression, like I said, journalists doing their work with fear, being mindful of what to report and not to report, changing terminologies and adjectives just to be politically correct because of the space in which you're working.
Also speaking at the event, WACC's Executive Director Dr. Nana Santua Afajinu called on government to take swift action on Ghana's Galamsey crisis, stressing that civil society organizations are uniquely positioned to help address this challenge.
We must have leaders and governments and hold them accountable to manage our resources to develop our countries and address the challenges that we are facing. And I am hoping, as I speak, that the Mahama government in Ghana would actually act on dealing with the Galamsey issue.
As WACSI celebrates 2 decades of dedication to civil society, the Institute's focus on resilience remains unwavering, with clear strategies in place to confront both political and digital complexities. WACSI continues to lead the charge in protecting and empowering civil society organizations across the region. Mamavi Sefa Kote's report, read to you.
And to some other stories, the District Director of Health at Ekumfi is asking government to operationalize the National Health Insurance Scheme's office in the area for a smoother healthcare delivery. Dr. Regina Hunu Ama is worried that the closure of the NHIS office has forced the people to seek alternative healthcare because they can't afford payment for drugs and other essential health needs.
One of the major challenges that we have in terms of healthcare in the district is also the non-availability of an office or non-functional office for the NHIA. So, as per our records from last year, about 4 out of 10 people in the district do not have an active health insurance. Most of it is because of the long distance they have to commute from here to Infantiman or to Apam to get their registration done. The NHIA has an office complex within the district, but unfortunately it has been non-functional or non-operational for at least close to a year. And because of that, we are having decrease in our NHIS rates, and that is also affecting accessibility to healthcare in general, because most of our CHIPS compounds and health centers run primarily on health insurance. And without it, our staff have to pay, our clients have to pay out of the pockets. And that greatly affects healthcare accessibility within the district.
Remember, you're still watching Joy News Prime with me, Pius Kujobaka. We have more for you after this break. Hello again. Professor of Communications and Media Studies at the University of Ghana, Audrey Gajepo, has emphasized the urgent need for strategic investment in education and healthcare as a catalyst for Ghana's economic development. She noted that despite the country's wealth in natural resources, chronic underinvestment in these 2 critical sectors continues to hinder economic progress. Professor Gajepo made this call in Cape Coast when the Gassem Cement Foundation donated 21,240 bags of cement to 181 selected health and educational institutions in the southern sector to address key challenges in those areas. More in this report.
Established in 2002 as part of its corporate social responsibility to support deprived communities, the Gassem Cement Foundation has donated 725,060 bags of cement worth 58 million cedis to boost health and education infrastructure. This year alone, 21,240 bags have been distributed to health and educational institutions in the southern sector. Gassem Cement Foundation Council member Professor Audrey Gajepo underscored the critical role of health and education in driving human capital development.
If resources alone determine our nation's success, Ghana has been blessed with what? Gold, bauxite, etc., etc. So we should be way ahead. Without investing in people, natural wealth does not guarantee smooth progress. Health is the backbone of national prosperity. A country cannot move forward if its people are not well. A healthy population means we have a strong workforce. It means we are a more productive economy, and we are an empowered citizenry. When our children grow up healthy, they can attend school. When workers are healthy, they can contribute meaningfully to society.
In his address, Gassem Managing Director Dr. Frank Huber reaffirmed the company's commitment to strengthening education and healthcare as foundational pillars of economic transformation.
You know, as industry, we understand that it's really that people make the difference. It's wonderful people that run our plants, it's wonderful people that drive our economy, and it's wonderful people that support our communities. And I feel like we as an industry have an obligation to support that great path Ghana is going on. So I made a promise today to all these fine people here today that we will continue to support them because they are the real inspiration for us driving change in their communities.
Chairman of the foundation and paramount chief of Asin Kushia, Ehuna Brobim Pra, Ajin Sam, the sixth, revealed the foundation will intervene more with deplorable classrooms in northern Ghana.
The belief that if we all try to contribute towards solving educational problems and health problems, Ghana will improve, Ghana will develop. I had the opportunity to watch certain radio program, and we saw some of the classrooms up in the north, what we call classrooms, which was very appalling. And we are thinking of contacting the particular station for us to move up to the north as a special case to go and see what we can do.
Some beneficiaries expressed their gratitude to the GCF for coming to their aid. Carlos Galoni, joining.
The Dean of the Faculty of Engineering and Director of the Gender and Diversity Center at Dr. Hilal Liman Technical University, Professor Hamidatu Darimani, has encouraged young women to develop entrepreneurial skills, stating that the government alone cannot provide jobs for all graduates. Speaking at the university's Ladies' Week celebration organized by the Students' Representative, Women's Commissioner of the institution, in collaboration with the CARD Ghana in WA, highlighted creativity and entrepreneurship as essential pathways to economic independence.
The Ladies' Week celebration of the Dr. Hilal Liman Technical University was held under the theme Empowering Her Future in Entrepreneurship Skills and Leadership, Action Today, Impact Tomorrow. The Dean of the Faculty of Engineering and Director of Gender and Diversity Center at the Dr. Hilal Liman Technical University, Professor Hamidatu Dramani, speaking on the sidelines of the event, told UA News that entrepreneurship skills is the way forward, as the government cannot absorb all graduates.
We just want them to know that we've got their back. We are here to support them in their dreams, to become good entrepreneurs, to become very successful, young women in our society.
Women's Commissioner of the University, Palvote Lydia, used the opportunity to launch the emergency pad bank. She spoke about its significance.
These are sanitary pads, and they shall be given to any female student of Dr. Hilal Liman Technical University who might one way or the other experience the unexpected events. It will be given to the person to alleviate the discomfort, shame, and embarrassment they feel.
Acting Director of CARD Ghana and Sina Baini, whose organization is spearheading the Pad Bank initiative, urged other organizations to support schools in establishing Pad Banks.
Rafik Salam filed that report. That's it for the bulletin. I am Pius Kojobaka. We have more for you when you log on to myjoyonline.com. Always a delight serving you.